Yeah. Yeah. Pocket full of money, swisher loaded with gas. Celebration in order, you're now watching a class. Pocket full of money, swisher loaded with gas. Celebration in order, you're now watching a class. Pocket.
Yeah. Welcome back to Unpopular Honesty, the home of brutal honesty and real hip-hop music. My name is Cornbread Capone. In this episode, I like to call Fully Loaded Clip Part 3. Well, got a lot to unpack, man, a lot to unpack. Well, let's just start off with this. Angie Martinez starts a podcast called Iconic Records, where she will be detailing the curation, creation, and formation of classic hip-hop albums. And in this first season, she's breaking down Life After Death, the second and final album from the Notorious B.I.G. Now, we already 2 episodes into the podcast, and I'm watching, I'm peeping things, but even as I owned the album, and even when it first came out in 97, I can't say that this is a classic body of work. I feel Ready to Die was a classic body of work, because Ready to Die was one of those albums that you can put on and not skip it. With Life After Death, it's a little different. Sure, Biggie raised the stakes lyrically. The production was raised, considerably high. The ambition to go to the club and be more party driven was prevalent on Life After Death. It also had a dark side to it, if you listen to some of the songs and some of the lyrics. In terms of being an album that you can't skip, well, there's one record on there that I just don't really cut for, and that's Nasty Boy. I mean, it sounds like an 80s record. When the beat came on initially, when I first heard the album, I didn't like the song. I just didn't like it. It didn't matter who was rapping on it. It sounds like an aerobics beat. You know what I'm saying? A old 1980s aerobics beat. I felt like they was trying to remake Apollonia 6 Nasty Girl into the 90s with a flip, but it just didn't work. And when you have that on the album as big as this, with Notorious Thugs, Missing You, Sky's the Limit, More Money, More Problems, What's Beef, Hypnotized, it's chock full of records that go a lot of different ways. I just can't say that it's a, classic through and through to where I can jam it with no skips. That's just me and how I feel. I feel like All Eyes on Me was a better double album, because I can listen to all 27 tracks on All Eyes on Me. Easy. You know what I mean? But be that as it may, Suge Knight says Dr. Dre didn't produce Doggy Style or California Love. Now, this is not a new story for anybody that's been following pretty much Death Row and the word around for years. It's been a subject of contention for a long time, whether Dr. Dre produced certain records or not. I don't, I don't know. I do, remember that there was a documentary called DPG Eulogy that came out in the early 2000s. And they had a dude named Barney Rubble, who I believe has passed away now. But he was on there talking about how he produced Gin and Juice. And then Dr. Dre came in and probably put the mix and the EQ on it and just took credit for it. And a lot of other people have contended the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if it's true or not. Simply just reporting what's out there already. Big up to Missy Elliott and Kool DJ Herc for being inducted in the 2023 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Boosie Badass says album with T.I. is back on. Happy to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in a time where albums, you know what I'm saying, people drop albums seem like every other day, and most albums come out I don't even care to listen to. This one I will give a listen to. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent wants to be part owner of BET. Now, I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but it seems like the bid to buy BET is on because a lot of people are bidding and trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? I read some comments where some people said, why buy BET? Well, if you buy BET, being a black person, maybe we can go back to seeing, you know, some real black television. You know what I'm saying? Other than reality shows and movies with the same theme and or message. If 50 gets it, it wouldn't be bad because, I mean, effectively all of the hit series that he's a part of right now would all be on BET and viewership would be out the roof. And it wouldn't be a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, you know, one of the new owners of BET can come back and put a video show back on the air. You know what I'm saying? Maybe resurrect Rap City or something. You know what I mean? Bring back Uncut. Bring back something that vintage BET watchers can appreciate. You know what I'm saying? And also, 50 Cent announces the Get Rich or Die Trying anniversary tour. The album turns 20 years old this year, and he will be touring in support of that. You know what I'm saying? C Murder hires Ben Crump and president of Baton Rouge NAACP in renewed push for freedom. And for those who don't know, C Murder was sentenced to life back in the early 2000s. And he's been fighting for his freedom ever since. You know what I'm saying? And I hope he get free. I'm talking about because that's real. LL Cool J produces a new single. Well, puts out a new single produced by Q-Tip. And licensing his catalog is very lucrative for him. You know, a lot of people, a lot of businesses use hip-hop music to sell their products. And shit, it's good when an artist owns his catalog and can license his own music. For those who don't know, read and do your research. You know what I'm saying? And also, LL is going on tour with the Roots right now. A lot of people might hear about this artificial intelligence rapper that's been going around. They doing something with Biggie. They doing something with Michael Jackson. They doing, you know, it seems like they putting the AI spin on a bunch of different artists and music genres or whatever. I'm gonna just tell you straight like this. If it's not a real person making the music, it is not going to be respected. It is not going to be jammed, and it's not going to be appreciated. Nobody wants to hear artificial intelligence. That's like, you know, a cheat code almost. You know what I'm saying? That's fake. That's not real. You know what I'm saying? Just from my personal opinion, I would not jam it. I will not support it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm an artist myself outside of this podcast. I'm an artist myself. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't support that. You know what I'm saying? No more than actors would support a robotic character that's coming in to do their job. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Erykah Badu and Yasin Bey joined forces for a U.S. tour. Check it out if you're in the market. You know what I'm saying? Missy Elliott debuts a new song at the Lovers and Friends Festival. Busta Rhymes shades rappers who use background tracks when they perform. Now, this has been a question of contention. A lot of people saw this publicly talked about on Verzuz. If you watch the Verzuz with the Lox and Dipset, if you notice that the Lox performed over all their instrumentals and Dipset performed over all their songs with the vocals on them. And that's what Busta Rhymes is talking about. When you get on stage and perform, you are supposed to perform. You know what I'm saying? If you had a track on there and you got the hook on there, maybe some ad libs, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But now, when you get on stage and you rap into your song, just as you can hear it on the radio, some artists might have an issue with that. They feel like that's a cheat code. You know what I'm saying? And real hip hop performers are real performers, just not even just hip hop, just real performers perform. And that's the difference. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. Snoop Dogg celebrates 30 years of Doggy Style with Dr. Dre and an orchestra and a live show that will be going on this summer. Can't wait to see that and check that out. I'm waiting to hear that. And also they got an album coming out called Missionary, which will be released through Death Row Records and produced by Dr. Dre. You know what I mean? Man, so much, man. So much. And last but not least, Breademic, the cornbread story. Well, it's about time that my story be told. It's important that I tell my own story because I see the inconsistencies in so many documentaries, docuseries, biopics. It's when you think about it, you think, okay, is anybody ever going to tell the truth about anything? Because a lot of stuff be made up. It's Hollywood. It's glamorized. It's exaggerated. And they give you maybe 40 to 50% of the reality and then put water in the rest. You know what I'm saying? And it's injustice to the people who they are portraying and trying to, tell their stories. So with that being, considered, I took it upon myself to create a documentary that not only tells my story, but it also gives people a firsthand look at why this person is the way he is, why he creates the music he makes, why he chose to do things his way as opposed to doing them the way everybody else does. Not only that, I was very fortunate to have some great footage of people who are no longer with us. And a lot of this footage I've just been holding on to over the years, and now it's going to be seen and it's going to be heard. Because Breademic, the cornbread story, will be a docuseries. Not sure how many parts it's going to be, but I do know that it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very enlightening. And people will get a chance to see what it is I've been talking about all these years. And I can't wait to do that. You know what I'm saying? But that's coming to y'all, sometime in late 23. maybe early 24. You know what I'm saying? Because we definitely putting that together as we speak. You know what I'm saying? All right. Welcome back to Unpopular Honesty. You know what I'm saying? The mighty LL Cool J admits that the beef between him and Cannabis was his fault. Now, for those who don't know, let's go back. LL had a record called 4321 that was featured on his album Phenomenon, which came out in 1997. The track featured Method Man, Redman, and DMX on the original. Then he had the idea to do a remix. And this remix would have Cannabis and Master P on it as well. Cannabis had a line in his original verse that was taken off at LL's request. And the line said, "Yo, L, that mic on your arm, let me borrow that." LL asked Cannabis to change the verse, and Cannabis did. But what LL did was, his verse was a response to the verse that Cannabis took off, making it like a diss track within the song. After the record came out, the original started surfacing, leaking around New York City. People started talking. Pressure started to mount against Cannabis to respond. And finally he did, the second round knockout, which is one of my favorite, battle records that'll ever come out of hip hop. It was LL and Cannabis beef was the first back and forth between rappers since the passing of Tupac and Notorious Big and the East-West situation. I guess LL can now look back and say, see his wrongs or see what could have been avoided. Some grown man shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't really, knock him for that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you watch the Beef series, if anybody remember the Beef series that QD3 made, where they talked about the beef, I mean, it was kind of set up like that already. If you watch the Beef, I believe it's Beef 2, where they talk about Cannabis and LL. It's good that he can admit his wrongs, you know what I'm saying? Master P calls for the release of Mystical following rape charges. And it was recently reported that C Murder is getting with Ben Crump and the NAACP in Baton Rouge for a renewed push for his freedom. For a lot of people that don't know, C Murder was convicted of murder and sent to prison for life back in the early 2000s. I don't wish jail on my enemy. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that those brothers get free. You know what I'm saying? And stay away from Louisiana, man, because they don't mean no good for rappers. They don't mean no good for rappers, man. You know what I mean? And right about now, I like to be real for a second. I found out, when I was young, my grandfather, God bless his soul, used to tell me all the time that you don't have no friends. And I used to be like, what does he mean by that? Until I got older and I realized that when hard times come, when you're back against the wall, when you don't have no money, you can't pay your bills, you don't have no money for food, you don't have no money for gas, ain't nobody coming to help you. And that's what he meant. You don't have no friends. If you go to jail, none of your friends gonna be there to bail you out. You hungry? Ain't nobody gonna pay for you, no buy you no food or cook for you. And that's what he meant. Sometimes throughout my life, I found out the hard way that I don't have no friends. Just recently, I had to find out the hard way that, you know, somebody who I regarded as a friend is not a friend. You know what I'm saying? And it hurts. You know what I'm saying? It's a letdown. It's a disappointment. You know what I'm saying? But we all have to keep moving in life. Life don't stop. You know what I'm saying? My life damn sure don't stop. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, now that I'm, you know, out of that situation and I can look at it, I can say, you know what? I was upset that I wasted my time and energy and efforts and resources. And, you know, as an artist, when artists make music, we make music to be released. We're not making music just to sit on our computer or our phone. You know what I'm saying? So it's a disappointment whenever any artist makes a project or a body of work that will never come out. That's a disappointment. I hate being in that position, but I was forced to be in that position. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, I just want to give a shout out to all my real friends. You know what I'm saying? You know, the people who are really my friends. And it ain't that many of them. You know what I'm saying? I just want y'all to know that, you know, this life is not perfect. We don't ask for a lot of the things that happen, especially the bad things. You know what I'm saying? But for those who are really my friends, I really appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? I really have love for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I just had to learn the hard way, man, that everybody not your friend, man. You know, everybody is not your friend. And I had to learn that. And it's a tough pill to swallow. It's a tough pill to swallow because I be thinking about what would my brother think? What would Chris Henry think? What would Tyron think? You know, they're all gone. You know what I'm saying? And they looking down on us. And they probably like, I know they disappointed. You know what I'm saying? I know that they are. I know that they are disappointed. You know what I'm saying? And I know my friends well enough to say that because, you know, I know how things was. But it's just like he say in life, man, things change. And they'll never go back to what they used to be. You know what I'm saying? I wish it wasn't like this. I wish it was better. I wish that brothers was really united and on the same page and working together. But it's not. You know what I'm saying? And it's not my fault either. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I didn't plan this. I didn't have this preconceived notion of this happening in my head prior to it taking place. It's just one of those things in life that happens. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully it's a lesson. You know, it's definitely a lesson for me because I've learned. I've definitely learned. You know what I'm saying? And I will definitely never make that mistake again. You know what I'm saying? But for everybody else that's watching and paying attention and listening to me talking right now, I hope that you don't have to learn the hard way about who your friends are. I hope that you have discernment. I hope that you have enough brain power to differentiate real and fake. You know what I'm saying? Because it's real out here. And choosing being around certain people could mean life and death. Being around certain people could mean your livelihood. You have to think about that. You have to be mindful of that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's very important. You know what I'm saying? Watch for the people. Watch what people say, man. Watch what people, you know, it's hard to see somebody's intentions because you can't look inside their mind and actually see it for yourself. But if you around them enough and you listen to them enough, you can put together their intentions if they don't verbalize them already. And that's something that I should have picked up on. But now I know the truth. Now I know the truth. And now that I know the truth, I'm going to move accordingly. Everybody not your friend, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm going to say. Everybody is not your friend. Everybody is not my friend. You know what I'm saying? I know that for a fact. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good because life will go on. And while we speaking about life moving on, One Man Records proudly presents Ladies Room, the album, May 19th, 2023 on all streaming platforms, as well as a music video called Hearted, which is directed by Spike T, aka Terrence Matthews. You know what I'm saying? I still got 3 videos left to drop from Breademic. Blast. I'm sorry. 4 videos left to drop from Breademic. Blast, which is already done. Weekend. Ride Again, which is coming soon. And Live Your Life. And in the summer, or hopefully right after the summer, I have another album called Double Jeopardy, an album that I did with a female MC called Bella. And then I have another album called Take It How You Want It. There's also plans for my documentary, Breademic, The Cornbread Story, which will hopefully be out, late 23, if not beginning of 24. I'm very excited about that. Oh man, I don't mean to cut, my promotions or what I'm doing, advertising short, but the docu-series Dear Mama, the docu-series that chronicles the life of Afeni and Tupac Shakur. Everybody knows that I'm a big Tupac fan, and I haven't really said much about it because it's still going on. And my plan is to make a whole episode of the podcast talking about nothing but that docuseries. I don't want to give away too much right now because, like I said, it's going to be a full episode. But please believe that I'm watching, I'm taking notes, and I'm paying attention to this entire docuseries, all 5 parts. Because when we sit down and talk about it, we're going to break it all the way down. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the story. You know what I'm saying? So, and not only that, it deserves to have its own podcast about this show directly because it's that good. And I'm going to leave it like that. Stay tuned because the docu-series review show is coming soon. Please believe that. I wanted to mention that, you know what I'm saying? Because I hadn't said nothing about it and people probably wondering, but yeah, we definitely going to discuss, Dear Mama, the docuseries, you know what I'm saying? And, as always, man, you know what I'm saying? We finna get up out of here, man. It's been a good episode of Unpopular Honesty, full of loaded clip part 3. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody who's down with Cornbread, who's been supporting Cornbread. I urge you all to go get that Ladies Room project when it drops. Watch all those videos. Keep engagement with the content. You know what I'm saying? And if you haven't, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. YouTube/BreadTV OMR. And this is Unpopular Honesty, the home of brutal honesty in real hip-hop music. I am Cornbread Capone. And as always, my people, peace and love. Because that's what the world needs. Peace and love.